So in this video I'll show you how to make this weapon. It's some sort of weaponized cricket bat. So I started out with this 2cm thick beech, so really solid wood, and I drew out my design with the black pen, like so. Then I marked 2 rows of black dots 6 centimeters apart from each other, which I will drill out with my drill. And I took out some sticks from the woods and marked dots 4 centimeters from each other. I then sawed down those logs, so I was left with a bunch of logs like so, and I screwed in some screws like halfway in like so, and I did this for all of them. Then I took out my epoxy and I mixed it up like so. Then, as you can see, I marked halfway through the log and I applied the epoxy on the first half, so I could then press down a second log onto it. I did the same for all of them, so I glued them in pairs like so, and I let them dry for 30 minutes. Then what I did is I took the pairs and glued them with each other to make packs of 4, and I did the same until I was left with 2 rows of 11 logs. I then took out my hand drill and drilled in the dots with a 6mm or 1/4 inch drill bit. I then took a much thicker drill bit and drilled in the corners to be able to cut out the design with the jigsaw, like so. I have now cut out the design with my jigsaw, and as you can see, the handle isn't ergonomic, so we're gonna round out the edges. So start by using a wood file and making a slight bevel, like so. Then take out some 80 grit sandpaper and round out the edges, like this. To finish the job, take some 240 grit sandpaper and make the edges nice and smooth, like so. I then took out this 3mm thick MDF board, and I took a ruler, a pencil and a black pen. I started by marking a dot 30 centimeters from the end, like so. And then I marked dots every 5 centimeters starting from the top, like this. I marked 4 dots, like so, and then I did the same on the other side, like this. Then I joined the dots together with horizontal lines, as shown. And then I joined the lines together with the vertical line on the left, like this. Then I took a pencil and marked 1 centimeter from the bottom line, like this, and I did the same on the other side. And then I drew the horizontal lines, like this. Then do the same on the top line, except you use 7mm instead of 1 centimeter, like this. Repeat the same on the other side, as shown. And then join the lines. Then mark dots starting 3 centimeters from the end, every 6 centimeters apart on the bottom lines, and repeat the same process on every line, here, here, here and here, like so. And then do the same on the top line, except do it with a spacing of 2.4 centimeters or 1 inch. You should be left with 10 dots on the top lines. Then I cut out the rectangle, and I was ready to drill in the dots with my drill and a 1/4 inch drill bit. I then cut in on the black lines with a saw. Sorry guys, I don't have a scroll saw, so I used the hand saw. Then I was left with 4 identical pieces, like so. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the 4 identical pieces on either side and place in the teeth and glue them with epoxy in the inside, like so. and on the corners of the logs. Once they're dry, we're gonna drill in with the drill and place in the bolts. I then roughed out the edges. We're then going to apply the varnish. I use dark oak varnish. You can use any varnish you want on the top and bottom side, which we smoothed out with 240 grit to apply the varnish. Then on both edges I used a big wooden file for the epoxy to have something to hang on to for the teeth, like so. But then I realized I made a mistake. The holes aren't level. As you can see, the right holes are slightly higher than the left holes, so that when I put a bolt in, it's tilted like so. So what I did is I just flipped over the MDF board, and now the holes are level. The texture isn't the same. It won't be a big problem because the varnish will hide the different texture. I then applied the varnish. Like so. Then I did the other side. When it was finished, I let it dry for 2 hours before applying the second coat, which would take 24 hours to dry. Then I reinforced the teeth with more epoxy to make it nice and secure. Like this. Once the second coat on the beach was dry, I could now wrap electrical tape around the handle to make it more ergonomic, to give a better grip. Like so. Then I applied the varnish on the MDF boards. I also applied 3 coats of varnish to make it look like the beach, like this. And we're now ready to insert the teeth with the epoxy on either side of the weapon. So first start by securing the first MDF boards on the bottom like this with bolts. Then take the teeth and mix out your epoxy. Place small dabs of epoxy on the upper side of the teeth and just print it down on the MDF so that you can apply more on the dabs. You just print it down. Like this. So now we're able to place the epoxy on the corners of the logs so that the epoxy doesn't drip. And we're now able to press it down onto the MDF. Once the epoxy has dried, you can now place small epoxy on the logs, on the top face of the logs. Like this. Then place your second board, your second MDF board, and secure it in with the nuts, like so. Tighten the nuts with a spanner or a screwdriver. Once the epoxy has dried on both sides of your weapon, you can now drill in the first and last hole to apply the bolts, and now you're able to drill in all the holes in the inside. It's safer to do it this way since you can't, it's much more secure to do it this way than if you were to drill in the holes independently. And now the weapon's finished. I think it looks really good for a first melee weapon. At some places the MDF chipped off. It's not really nice, but it's because I drilled it in really bad. It's not that bad, so. And I then also colored in the sides with the black pen, as you can see here and here, on both sides of it. As you can see, I didn't use the same screws everywhere. I didn't have enough screws like these, so I had to use a different type of screw. It's not that bad, but... And we're now ready for the tests.